Rajasthan Royals versus Lucknow Super Giants is game 26 of this season. We are specifically focusing on one young leggy in the LSG camp in Ravi Bishnoi. He is our player under the spotlight for this game. Tom, he's been so impressive. Before we get into the details, what have you made of him from the early part of this campaign?
Look, firstly, I didn't think he bowled early enough in the last game, which I think had a real bearing on the outcome of that game. But I've been really impressed with him. I remember first seeing him in South Africa in the under-19 tournament, and he was a standout there amongst his peers during that tournament. But what I've seen develop over time, and you can clearly see it this year, is that he's worked on his leg break a little bit more. He was always a very good wrong-on bowler, so particularly difficult for your right-handers, and we'd go across the left-handers. But now he's developed that leg break over the last 12 months, which is obviously giving him that variety. Yeah,
there was some of the dissection, I remember last season, where it was almost like, don't play him as a leg break bowler, play him as a googly bowler. But numbers will show you that while he had been before the season way more effective against left-handers than right-hand batters, he has pulled up those numbers, been equally effective. Now, you brought up that last game against Punjab, where he didn't bowl up until the 15th, which, of course, all of us were caught a bit off guard by. But those 3 overs he did bowl at the death, he kept things quite tight. He was hard to score off, almost made a match out of it for Lucknow. Have Lucknow, inadvertently perhaps, stumbled upon what could be a great tactic?
I think they'll look back on that and think it was a tactical flaw in not bowling him early. For a start, he still had an over left in his at his disposal. I think he's a bowler that can bowl any 3 phases. To me, he could bowl in the power play if the setup against your opponent is the right setup. There's no question he could do that because he's got control with what he does. And he clearly bowls well in the middle phase, and he's shown just recently that he is an option at the death. I don't think he is someone that you would put at the top of your list as an option to bowl right at the back end of the innings. I think circumstances have to present in his favour to use that as an option, which they did the other day.
So in this particular matchup against the Rajasthan Royals, he will come up against some really challenging batters. Jos Buttler may look to play out, but you saw in the last game when Royals were up against Gujarat Titans and Rashid Khan, Sanju Samson in particular just launched into Rashid in that game. So how do you see Bishnoi faring against this batting lineup, which also, of course, has someone like a Hetmeyer?
Yeah, they're a dangerous side, Rajasthan. There's a reason they're at the top of the table. They've got all bases covered in their squad. They've got some very good power hitters, in all 3 phases of the game. But I think Bishnoi can be used early against Buttler. There's no question of that, and because that's clearly a critical wicket, and he could also be used as soon as Hetmeyer comes to the crease. You don't want to use him once Hetmeyer's got settled, or you can use him when he's settled, but it's always best to use one of your shock bowlers and one of your surprise bowlers before someone's really set.
So how will KL Rahul and Lucknow use Ravi Bishnoi this time? Tom Moody is given a bit of a template. Let's see if they hear us.